everyone, welcome to the next part in my series for starting 40K. In this video I will be going over building some basic Space Marines. So I went through my bits box, cut a whole bunch of pieces off the sprue, and came up with these. Just dump them out. So we have legs, so this is going to be the pieces to build 5 guys. This is an Assault Marine pair of legs that I switched out just to give it a little more difference in between the units. We have basic Space Marine helmets. We have mostly plain shoulder pads, just because there's nothing too special about these Marines. Bolters, their backpacks, their chest and back pieces, and their arms. And then there's a couple little grenade, there we go, little grenade pack things. This one I think is from Dark Angels, but it doesn't really matter. I decided to give all my Marines a couple grenades just to show that that's what they have. So first thing I'm going to do is separate these, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. Had to go to this shaky cam, meaning I don't have a tripod, using just holding it, because I forgot that I sorted these out a long time ago into poses, and I forgot which poses they were in. So I had to go over each one. So we have this one here, just going to be a basic Marine. Legs, backpack, arms holding a bolter, head, front and back, giving them grenades, shoulder pads. So then over here we have a Devastator. This is one I built and primed already, but he's missing a shoulder. I took his shoulder pad off. Let's see if we can get this into focus. I'm going to be using these shoulder pads for my Devastators. I'm going to try and do as many as I can, if not all of them, with this shoulder pad, just to give them more of a unified look. So this model is a basic Marine, basic Marine, basic Marine. This is a Sergeant. So Sergeant has bolt pistol, close combat weapon. All the basic Marines have basic Marine heads. Some of them have skulls, some of them have Blood Angel bits. And this is what I'm using for my Sergeant, for his head, just so that he stands out more. I'm also giving him these little extra special grenades and purity seal and stuff like that. And I'm giving him this shoulder pad, just to show that he's a veteran. And then the next guy over here is going to be the guy with the flamethrower. And the only real difference is he has, get the zoom working, that shoulder pad as opposed to a blank shoulder pad. I also have some more Marines. I'm doing a full 10-man squad as 2 5-man squads, but making them uniform to go with the rest of the army. We have another Assault Marine pair of legs, just to give a little bit of variety. We also have the Devastator kneeling legs, just to give variety. We have a couple arms like this, so they'll be in different poses, like pointing the gun out with one hand instead of holding it with 2 hands. The rest are pretty basic. They all have grenades, and that's it. So next I'm going to clear most of this up and focus on a single Marine, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. So basically what I did is I took a whole bunch of these baggies, get them at dollar store, craft stores, most regular stores that sell any type of crafts or hardware or anything, and I put each Marine separately in its pieces into a bag. So I have one of those for each model in the squad. I am keeping out 2 to build, or to show the steps that I use to build. I have, if I can pick up the pieces, this is the kneeling Space Marine for my assembly tutorial, I guess. And then another standard Marine. I'm going to attempt to do this on camera. It might be long, might be boring, might run out of things to say, I'm not sure. So hopefully it won't be just me breathing, because that would be creepy. So first thing I do is, this is all off the sprue. Oh, knocking the camera, still not used to it in front of me. Little pieces still attached. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my knife, and I'm going to clean some edges and stuff and mold lines from these pieces. I tend to cut like this, very controlled, which means I'm not likely to put enough pressure to like go like this really quickly. I learned my lesson a long time ago. You can see this cut right here. Focus in on that. That is a scar from cutting actually a Space Marine, and the blade went in. I was using a dull blade, thinking it was safer because it wouldn't cut through as easily, and it caught a bit. I put a little bit of pressure, and boom, it was bleeding. So first up, I'm gonna try zooming in. Hopefully this will still be on camera. Get these out of the way. And first thing are these lines here. So the easiest way I find to get that is, instead of holding your knife like this, you hold it like this. So when you press down on the model, it's not like this, it's turned. So you have the model like this, so that you can just scrape. Kind of hear that? That's the sound you're going for. And you just want to go like that. Wipe it off. And that's mostly gone. Once it's primed, it's a lot harder to see. And then just work around from there. A little bit up here. These big pieces, I hold like this and just kind of go like that. And as it's catching and flying, that's about as far as it's going. So there's no real risk of me cutting myself. And here, if it slips this way, the flat part of the blade hits my thumb. So there's no risk of cutting. It's one of the few instances where you can say cut towards yourself and actually not be a bad idea. And then inside. Hopefully the video can catch all this. And just blow off the little excess. And that's better. A little bit up there still. There we go, much better, much smoother. And just keep moving on to each piece. Cut a little bit there, a little bit here. And for these I just kind of go like that. It's not that big of a deal, it's just kind of there, wipe it off. Kind of get your fingernail to kind of get inside. For the most part, that's it. You can still see a line, but it's not actually that raised up. You just keep going to the next piece. These ones don't really have mold lines. You just kind of, off camera, cut the edges. Like that. That piece is done. Same thing with the head. This piece is where it came off the sprue. So you just kind of give that a little bit of a cut. And of course you can put it on the mat like this and kind of give it a bit of a chop if that's what you prefer. A little safer. And just kind of get right in there. I don't know why they put the mold line over the head like this. I mean, it could be worse. It could be going down the center of the face, but they put it in a very visible location. So that's a little better. Move on to the next piece. And don't worry, I won't be doing this for all 10 men in the squad. This is actually the last one to be cleaned. The guy kneeling is just going to be a building tutorial along with this guy, and then the other ones will be off camera. And of course at this stage, if you wanted to drill a hole right in there with a Dremel or a vise, you can. Adds a little bit more of a realistic effect, but I won't be doing that, at least at this point. That's also something you can go back and do once the model's finished, because it's just a hole in the end of a gun. That's almost done. Cut there where the sprue was attached. Just kind of scrape it. This isn't too big of a deal because it's going to be covered. Same with this part here. Kind of see it there. Go around there. Down there. It's good. For the grenades, just kind of line them up and hold them if you need to at all. I use my fingernail. Just give it a little run across as they go flying. And that cleans that up. So, just like that, let's zoom out a bit. The model is basically cleaned up. So what I do next is I glue, and this is currently the glue that I'm using. It is Testors liquid cement for plastic models, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the reason why I use this glue is because it comes to a fairly fine tip. Kind of see the glue there. So when you do, say, the chest, you just dab a little bit here, dab a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. That's all you need. Put the pieces together. And just hold it a bit. If you have any here, you can wipe it off. Just like that. And that's long, typically that's long enough to be able to set it down. You don't want to use too much glue because then it starts globbing. So I'm going to move these to this side and set that on the base. Then over here, we do the same thing with this guy. Just a little bit of glue, a little bit on the sides. Of course, a little bit on my hand, because that's how it works. Make sure it's lined up fairly well. And then hold it. So you can also blow on it to keep to make it dry a little bit faster. It's not lining up so well. So what happens when you use different generations of models? Sometimes they don't line up perfectly. That seems to be going better. And just hold it for a couple minutes. Sometimes it can take longer. So this right now isn't ready to let go. So I have to hold it a little bit longer. So while I'm doing that, I'll just explain. I'm going to be doing scenic bases, so I won't be gluing this down just yet. But if I want it to stay down while I pose the model, you can do that with the stick tack. Even if you've already chosen your pose, you can sometimes use stick tack to keep it there while you glue it. So that should be good enough there. So it falls over, keeps falling over. A little hard with the camera, still working on that. So then we have not much else we can do with that until the chest dries. So we move on to these legs. Dab glue right there. Put that in like that. And this can just lay flat. making sure all parts are touching the ground. And I'll wait for that glue to dry and I'll be back. Alright, so a little bit of time has gone by. This one's obviously dry. This is dry, and these are dry. So now what I do, take some stick tack, break it up into little pieces, stick it on the foot, like that. Doesn't matter if it's a lot or a little, doesn't really matter. Take it on the base, squish it down. We now have a model that's on a base. So this can give you just your basics of how it's going to fit on the base. So for example, this guy, he can't really fit any other way than that. So he's going to fit like that. But some models, if they're on bigger bases, can be pushed back. They can go to the front of the base, to the back of the base, depends on their pose. So from here, you can take your chest and you can have him straight forward. You can then decide if you want him sideways or if you want him foot forward, if you want him leaning back a bit, leaning off to the side, depending on where you want that. So you can use stick tack to do that, or just glue it on. So this guy, you can have him facing the way he's kneeling, facing off to the side. I think I'm going to go with the way he's kneeling. So from here, we get out the glue again. Sometimes it takes a couple seconds if you wait too long. Off camera it was a little longer than just a minute or two. Let me put that on. And this one is going to be our stock Marine. So he's just going to be kind of standing forward. Nothing special about his pose, just simple. And this guy, put some glue down on his base, or on his legs, and we're going to face him the same way as his leg, just like that. So now I'm going to let these dry and come back with the next step. Alright, so I'm back. These are now dry. They're pretty sturdy. Stick tack makes it move around a little bit. So next, from here we just continue building. So we add in a little glue, if it'll come out of the bottle. There we go. We put the head in. Again, we're going with pretty standard look, so just like that. Then we're going to add the backpack, just like that. Backpack on like that. Then we set him to the side. The next guy, get his stuff ready. Do his backpack first. I want to make sure it's lined up. It's a little bit crooked. There we go. It's a little better. And a little bit in there. You don't want to add too much glue, or else it kind of goes out and over the edges. And this one, his head's looking a little up. You can put it down, you can put it up, you can turn it. But I think we want it looking kind of straightforward. Just like that. Alright, so I'll let this dry and I'll be back again. Okay, we're back. They're not fully dry. You definitely want to let them dry overnight when you're fully finished. But we're good to go for the next step. So, this guy here has some stick tack on him, as you can tell by his arm kind of falling off. But so this is what I meant by you can pose them. So you have him looking this way, pointing with his gun, arm down. Other option, if you didn't like that, was arm down, arm kind of up, kind of giving the whole hold up guys, don't go any further. This guy could be like the scout out front that tells everyone to hold up. Those are kind of the options. Or both can be down. Personally, I like the arm pointing. So, just like that. This, I think, hand turn kind of like this. Just kind of making a fist. And this is probably the pose I'm going to do for him, just because it's semi-dynamic and just fits pretty good. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the difference between kit bashing and conversions. So for example, this model, this gun with the hand already attached, the arm and this arm are all from the command sprue and the regular Marines. They're not from like some crazy other game or anything like that. The legs are from Devastator Squad, and it's just off the sprue. And the hand, as a clenched fist, is from the Sanguinary Guard sprue. So this model is being kit bashed by using different pieces from different kits. It still classes a conversion, but it's more or less the simplest form of conversions. Other things for conversions can be using things from different armies. So if I had, say, his backpack, if I were to cut these two side pieces off and put skulls on, that would be more of a conversion than a kit bash. If I were to cut his arm off, give him a skeleton arm and paint it metallic like bionics, like he's kind of robot underneath, that would be a conversion. Simple things like that are fairly easy to do, but they're not what comes in the box. So if, for example, for this, I have Devastators, I have Assault Marines, I have regular Marines, and I just mixed some of their bits to give them poses that you normally wouldn't have. Like you typically wouldn't have this model in a tactical squad, even though it's really simple and easy to go. So next up, we have this guy. So the other thing about Marines is they come with bolters. Now, the bolters come with the handle. The arm, as I drop it, throw it away. As you can tell, that doesn't work. So the other step I forgot to do is to cut it. So I'm going to see if I can get this on camera. Just press down, and there it goes, it's gone. And just kind of press down on the other side. And just kind of clean it up a little bit. Like that. So when building this guy, what I do is I glue down both arms. Actually, before I do that, I get a little bit of stick tack and I put it here and here. Oh, it's going to stay. So a little bit there and a little bit there. Then we get out the glue. As it comes down the tube. There we go. I glue both sides. Then I attach this arm. Sorry about the focus, it's on auto because I'm going back and forth. And then this arm. Then I take the stick tack. And this is where it's very flimsy right now. So even before they go on, so I drop everything, stick tack goes everywhere. So I'm going to put his hand in there. Like that. And his arm like that. Oh. On camera would be a little bit better. So now it's like this. The glue's still there. These go on. Drop it again. Camera's in my way. Trying to do this on camera too, just to show you. basically you just want it so that both arms are attached, but he can still hold the gun. There we go. Okay, so now his arms are attached, his gun's on. The reason why I do this is because you can change it, because you don't want the arms to be one up high, one down low. Doesn't really work. So now set him down. When I prime the models, I prime the guns separately because they get painted completely different than they do, and it's easier to paint them and then glue them on. Also, if you notice his chest, it's a lot harder to get a paintbrush in there while there's a gun. When you don't have the gun, it's easier to get in there. So I'll do that after. But now that he has his pose, if I can go on camera again, we can glue his shoulder pads on. Oh, and of course I drop everything. And there we have our basic Space Marine. Now I'm going to let him dry, make sure that everything lines up properly, and I'll be back. Final build before we prime. They're still not done to the bases, that'll be a separate video. But this guy's done. He's sturdy, he's not going to fall apart. He has grenades. He's in his cool little pose. So there's that guy. Then we have standard Marine. His gun is not attached so that it can be primed and painted separately. So I can get all the detail in there and then cover it up. But you can still see in there so the brush can get to it. So that's two guys. The last cannon guy, like I said before, is already primed. His shoulder pad will be primed and then added. He's just stuck tacked to the base as well. He'll be added to the video again when everything else is primed, so that they're all at the same stage. Then we have just another basic tactical Marine with his bolter. Then we have a guy with a bolter in his left arm. He has this is just stick tacked, could probably be glued, but he's holding a grenade in this hand, which is pretty cool. So I decided to take a Sanguinary Guard hand, clenched fist, and make it so he's holding a bolter in the other hand, just to give it a variety, as most guys have it in the other arm. Then we have another basic Marine, bolter not attached. We have another Marine, this one's stick-tacked because he's it's meant to represent he's kind of just finished reloading or he's about to take the clip out. Just standard Marine. Then we have the Flamer. He's in a bit of an awkward pose. I wanted it so he started over here and did a flame that way around. So he's kind of torching a big area. Then we have this guy who kind of looks like he's falling backwards or retreating while shooting. And bolter again, not attached. And then we have the Commander, sword out, looking at you. He's got a Blood Angel's backpack. I'm not sure exactly on the pose. He might be up on something. He might be kind of leaning forward. That actually looks like he's kind of going to kick somebody. But so we'll get back when the bases are done. And that's it for this video. I hope it was useful in some way or another. And the next video should be out soon. Thanks for watching.